If you think the Chevrolet Malibu is coming back for 2026, there's one huge detail you need to know first. Chevrolet ended the Malibu after the 2025 model year, making the 2025 Malibu the final model year of this legendary sedan. So why are people still searching for the 2026 Chevrolet Malibu? And what would the next generation Malibu need to look like if Chevy brought it back? Stay with me, because the answer could completely change how you see this nameplate. This is Car TV Show, and today we're taking a deep look at the 2026 Chevrolet Malibu. What is actually confirmed, what could happen next, and why the Malibu name still has serious potential in the American car market. Let's start with the biggest fact. As of 2026, Chevrolet does not list a new 2026 Malibu in its current U.S. lineup. Chevrolet's own discontinued vehicle information identifies the 2025 Malibu as the final model year for the sedan. That means any video, image, or social media post claiming that an officially confirmed 2026 Chevrolet Malibu is already available should be treated carefully. But here's where things get interesting. The Malibu name still has enormous recognition. For decades, the Chevrolet Malibu has been one of America's familiar midsize sedans. It offered something many buyers wanted: comfortable road manners, practical interior space, modern technology, and a price that was generally easier to reach than luxury sedans. And even though SUVs dominate the market today, there are still drivers who prefer a traditional sedan. That creates the big question: could Chevrolet eventually bring the Malibu name back? If it does, the next Malibu would probably need to be dramatically different. Imagine lower, wider body, a sharper front fascia, slim LED lighting, a more aggressive grille, a smooth roof line, and a cabin designed around large digital displays. That kind of transformation could make the Malibu feel less like an old-school family sedan and more like a modern technology-focused Chevrolet. But before we imagine the future, we need to understand what made the final Malibu special. The 2025 Chevrolet Malibu represented the final chapter of the nameplate in the United States. Chevrolet's previous Malibu specifications show a 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine producing 163 horsepower, paired with a continuously variable transmission. Those numbers were never about turning the Malibu into a sports car. The Malibu was about balance. It was designed for people who wanted comfortable daily transportation without moving into a larger SUV. That philosophy made sense for commuters, it made sense for families, and it made sense for drivers who simply preferred the feeling of a sedan. The final Malibu also offered Chevrolet's Safety Assist technology suite. That included features such as automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, forward collision alert, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, IntelliBeam automatic high beams, and a following distance indicator. And that gives us an important clue about what a future Malibu would need. Technology. A future 2026-style Malibu concept would need to compete against some very advanced sedans and crossovers. Drivers now expect large screens, wireless smartphone connectivity, advanced driver assistance, connected services, wireless charging, and increasingly, electrification. The final Malibu already offered an 8-inch infotainment display, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability, available navigation, and available wireless charging depending on trim. But imagine Chevrolet taking that formula much further. A next-generation Malibu could potentially use a much larger digital cockpit. The driver could have a fully digital instrument display. The center screen could control navigation, media, vehicle settings, and connected services, and the cabin could feature a much cleaner dashboard design with fewer physical controls. This is where the Malibu could become really interesting, because Chevrolet already has experience building vehicles around electrification. The current Chevrolet lineup includes models such as the Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV. Chevrolet also lists an estimated range of up to 319 miles for the Equinox 7 and up to 312 miles for the Blazer EV in its current lineup. So if Chevrolet ever revived the Malibu, an electric Malibu could be one possible direction. Think about it: a low-slung electric sedan, instant electric torque, quiet highway cruising, a spacious cabin, a long driving range, and Chevrolet pricing it below many premium electric sedans. That could create a very different Malibu. But there is another possibility: Chevrolet could bring back the Malibu as a hybrid. Hybrid technology could give the sedan a major advantage in fuel economy while keeping the convenience of gasoline power. For American commuters, that could be a powerful combination: low fuel consumption, long highway range, no need to depend entirely on charging infrastructure, and a familiar Chevrolet badge. Of course, none of these future configurations are officially confirmed for a 2026 Malibu. That distinction matters. The 2026 Chevrolet Malibu is currently better understood as a topic of speculation and future possibility rather than an officially announced production model. And honestly, that makes the story even more interesting, because the Malibu disappeared at a time when the sedan market was already under enormous pressure. SUVs and crossovers have become the center of attention for many manufacturers. Chevrolet's current lineup reflects that shift, with models such as the Trax, Trailblazer, Equinox, Blazer, and Traverse occupying major positions in the lineup. So why spend money developing another sedan? That is the biggest challenge. A new Malibu would have to offer something buyers cannot easily get from a crossover. It would need better efficiency, better driving dynamics, a lower center of gravity, a sleek design, and a price that makes sense. The interior would also need to be one of its strongest selling points. The final Malibu already offered available heated and ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, dual-zone automatic climate control, and an available power sunroof depending on trim. A future Malibu could take those ideas into a completely new generation. Picture premium-looking materials across the dashboard, soft-touch surfaces, ambient lighting, a wide digital display, comfortable front seats, more rear seat legroom, and a large trunk designed for everyday American life. Because practicality has always been one of the Malibu's strengths, the final Malibu offered 15.7 cubic feet of cargo room, which is useful for a sedan in this class. Now imagine combining that practicality with modern electric power. Suddenly, the Malibu name starts to make sense again. But performance could also be part of the comeback. Chevrolet has a long performance heritage. So what if a future Malibu offered a sport-focused version? Maybe a more powerful turbocharged engine, maybe all-wheel drive, maybe a performance-oriented suspension, or, in an electric version, dual motors with instant torque. That could transform the Malibu from a simple commuter sedan into something much more exciting. Imagine pressing the accelerator and getting immediate power. No waiting, no hesitation, just instant electric torque. That would be a very different Malibu from the one people remember. And this brings us to the design. If Chevrolet wanted to revive the Malibu, the exterior would need to make a statement. The old formula would not be enough. A future Malibu could use a wide front end with slim LED daytime running lights. The headlights could sit lower and sharper. The grille could become more aerodynamic. The hood could feature stronger character lines. The sides could be cleaner, and the rear could use a full-width lighting signature. The roofline could remain sleek without sacrificing rear seat space, and large alloy wheels could give the car a more premium stance. Basically, Chevrolet would need to make people stop and look, because in 2026, design is more important than ever. A new car has to look good in a dealership, it has to look good on the highway, and it has to look good in a thumbnail. That last part matters more than people realize. The Malibu name still gets searched because people remember the car. That recognition gives Chevrolet something many new models do not have: a history, a familiar identity, a name people already know. But the name alone would not be enough. A comeback would have to deliver real innovation. And that brings us to pricing. The final 2025 Malibu was listed by Chevrolet with a starting price around $25,800 in its U.S. inventory information. That price position was important. It made the Malibu accessible to a wide range of buyers. but a completely redesigned electric or hybrid Malibu would almost certainly face higher development and technology costs. So Chevrolet would have to make a difficult decision: keep the price aggressive, or move the Malibu upward and turn it into a more premium sedan. If Chevy could deliver a modern hybrid Malibu at an affordable price, that could be extremely attractive. But if the company went fully electric, the Malibu would probably need to compete on range, technology, charging convenience, and value, and that is a much tougher game. There is also the question of whether Chevrolet would even call it Malibu. The company could use a completely new name. It could create a new electric sedan, or it could bring the Malibu name back because of its existing recognition. That decision could define the entire future of the model. Here's another interesting possibility. What if the next Malibu was not simply a replacement? What if it became a flagship affordable sedan, a car designed to sit between Chevrolet's mainstream crossovers and its performance models? A car that says you do not need an SUV to get modern technology, you do not need a luxury badge to get a premium interior, and you do not need a huge engine to get exciting performance. That would give the Malibu a clear purpose, and purpose is exactly what modern sedans need. The market has changed, buyers have changed, but that does not mean sedans are dead. There is still a market for efficient, comfortable, aerodynamic cars, and a sedan can have advantages that a crossover cannot completely duplicate: lower aerodynamic drag, a lower seating position, a more connected driving feel, and often, a quieter highway experience. So a Malibu comeback is not impossible, but it would have to be strategic. It would have to be more than simply changing the headlights and adding a bigger screen. It would need a completely new reason to exist. Maybe that reason is hybrid efficiency. Maybe it is electric performance. Maybe it is technology. Or maybe it is value. And that is the unanswered question surrounding the 2026 Chevrolet Malibu. Not whether Chevrolet could build one. Of course it could. The real question is whether Chevrolet believes the Malibu name can make enough impact in a market dominated by SUVs and crossovers. Right now, Chevrolet's official lineup does not show a 2026 Malibu, while the company identifies the 2025 model as the final Malibu model year. So if you see a dramatic 2026 Chevrolet Malibu rendering online, remember that many such images are unofficial concepts or speculative designs. But that does not make them boring. In fact, they give us a chance to imagine what a Malibu comeback could look like: a sleek American sedan, modern technology, hybrid or electric power, advanced safety, a premium cabin, and a price designed to attract everyday drivers. That combination could make the Malibu name relevant again. The final Malibu may have reached the end of its production story, but the name itself still has something valuable: recognition, history, and a connection with American sedan buyers. If Chevrolet ever decides to bring it back, the next Malibu cannot simply be the old Malibu with a new face. It would need to be something completely different, something bold, something efficient, something technological, and something that makes people ask one question: why did Chevrolet ever stop making this? For now, the official answer is simple: there is no confirmed 2026 Chevrolet Malibu in Chevrolet's US lineup. The 2025 Malibu was the final model year, but if Chevrolet changes direction in the future, the Malibu name could potentially return in a completely new form. And if that happens, the most exciting part will not be the badge. It will be what Chevrolet puts underneath it: a turbocharged engine, a hybrid powertrain, or a fully electric setup. That is the part we will be watching. This is Car TV Show. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2026 Chevrolet Malibu, make sure to subscribe for more Chevrolet news, future car updates, new model predictions, and the latest automotive stories. And tell us in the comments: would you buy a brand new Chevrolet Malibu if Chevy brought it back? And would you want it as a hybrid, gasoline sedan, or fully electric car? Because the Malibu may be gone for now, a broken bar, but its story might not be over.